you ever wondered if your paycheck truly reflects your purchasing power? Today, we're diving into the concept of real wages, a term that goes beyond the number you see on your payslip. Real wages help us understand how much goods and services our earnings can actually buy, taking into account the effects of inflation. In this video, we'll break down what real wages are, why they matter, and how they impact your everyday life. Let's start by exploring the basic definition and why it's important for everyone, not just economists. Truly grasp real wages, we first need to distinguish them from nominal wages. Nominal wages are the amount of money you earn in current dollars, without considering changes in the cost of living. Real wages, on the other hand, adjust your earnings for inflation, showing what your income is really worth in terms of purchasing power. This distinction is crucial because a pay raise in nominal terms might not actually improve your standard of living if prices are rising faster than your income. Understanding real wages is essential for anyone who wants to make informed financial decisions. If your nominal wage increases but inflation rises even faster, you might actually be able to buy less with your money than before. Real wages give you a clearer picture of your true earning power and help you evaluate whether your income is keeping up with the cost of living. This knowledge is vital for budgeting, negotiating salaries, and planning for the future. Inflation is a key factor in determining real wages. When prices for everyday goods and services rise, the value of your money decreases. Even if your paycheck stays the same, you'll find that your money doesn't go as far as it used to. That's why economists adjust nominal wages for inflation to calculate real wages. This adjustment helps you see whether your income is truly growing or just keeping pace with rising costs. Calculating real wages is simpler than you might think. You take your nominal wage and adjust it by the inflation rate. For example, if you earn $50,000 a year and inflation is 2%, your real wage is slightly less than $50,000 because your money buys less than before. The formula typically involves dividing your nominal wage by the Consumer Price Index, CPI, and multiplying by 100. This gives you a more accurate measure of your earning power. Consumer Price Index, or CPI, is a common tool used to measure inflation. It tracks changes in the prices of a basket of goods and services over time. By comparing your nominal wage to the CPI, you can see how much your income is really worth. If the CPI rises, it means prices are going up, and your real wage might be falling even if your nominal wage stays the same. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine you earned $40,000 last year and this year you earned $42,000. That's a 5% increase in your nominal wage. However, if inflation was 4% over the same period, your real wage only increased by about 1%. This means your purchasing power has barely improved, even though your paycheck is bigger. Real wages help you see the true impact of inflation on your income. Employers and policymakers pay close attention to real wages because they reflect the true cost of labor and the standard of living for workers. If real wages are rising, it usually means workers are better off and can afford more. If they're falling, it can signal economic trouble as people may struggle to keep up with rising prices. Tracking real wages helps businesses make decisions about pay and helps governments shape economic policy. Real wages affect your daily life in many ways. They determine how much you can spend on essentials like food, housing, and transportation. When real wages rise, you can afford more or save more for the future. When they fall, you might have to cut back or dip into savings. Understanding real wages helps you make smarter choices about spending, saving, and investing. Real wages are closely linked to economic growth. When real wages increase, people have more money to spend, which can boost demand for goods and services. This in turn can lead to more jobs and higher economic output. On the other hand, stagnant or falling real wages can slow down the economy as people cut back on spending. That's why economists watch real wage trends so closely. Several factors can influence real wages, including productivity, education, technology, and government policies. For example, if workers become more productive, employers may be able to pay higher wages without raising prices. Advances in technology can also increase productivity and in some cases lead to higher real wages. Education and training play a role too, as more skilled workers often command higher pay. Government policies such as minimum wage laws and tax rates can have a big impact on real wages. Raising the minimum wage can increase real wages for low-income workers, but if it leads to higher prices, the effect may be offset. Tax policies also matter, as higher taxes can reduce take-home pay. Policymakers must balance these factors to support workers without causing unintended consequences. Real wages vary widely from country to country, depending on local economies, inflation rates, and government policies. In some countries, real wages have grown steadily, improving living standards. In others, high inflation or slow economic growth has kept real wages stagnant or even declining. Comparing real wages internationally helps us understand global economic trends and challenges. Looking at history, we see that real wages have risen dramatically in many countries over the past century, thanks to economic growth, technological advances, and improved education. However, there have also been periods when real wages stagnated or fell, often during recessions or times of high inflation. Understanding these trends helps us see how economic forces shape our standard of living over time. Real wages are a key indicator of living standards. When real wages rise, people can afford better housing, healthcare, education, and leisure activities. Falling real wages, on the other hand, can lead to financial stress and lower quality of life. That's why economists and policymakers focus on real wage growth as a measure of economic well-being. Changes in real wages can also affect income inequality. If real wages grow faster for high-income workers than for low-income workers, the gap between rich and poor widens. Policies that support real wage growth for all workers can help reduce inequality and promote social stability. Understanding these dynamics is important for building a fairer society. Unemployment can have a major impact on real wages. When unemployment is high, employers may not need to raise wages to attract workers, which can keep real wages flat or even push them down. Conversely, when jobs are plentiful, competition for workers can drive up real wages. This relationship is a key part of labor market dynamics. Productivity, how much workers produce per hour, plays a big role in real wage growth. When productivity rises, businesses can afford to pay higher wages without raising prices. Over the long term, rising productivity is the main driver of higher real wages and improved living standards. That's why investments in technology and training are so important. Cost of living varies from place to place, affecting how far your real wage goes. In cities with high housing and transportation costs, even a high nominal wage may not stretch very far. Real wages help you compare your true earning power in different locations, making it easier to decide where to live and work. For families, real wages are crucial for budgeting and planning. Rising real wages mean you can afford more for your children's education, healthcare, and activities. Falling real wages may force tough choices about spending and saving. Keeping an eye on real wage trends helps families make better financial decisions for the future. In planning for retirement, it's important to consider real wages, not just nominal income. Inflation can erode the value of your savings over time, so you need to make sure your retirement plan accounts for rising prices. Understanding real wages helps you set realistic goals and ensure a comfortable retirement. In negotiating your salary, it's important to think about real wages. A higher nominal wage might sound great, but if inflation is high, your purchasing power may not actually increase. Researching inflation trends and real wage data can help you make a stronger case for a raise that truly improves your standard of living. Different careers offer different real wage prospects. Some industries see faster real wage growth than others depending on demand, productivity, and skill requirements. When choosing a career, it's wise to look at real wage trends in your field to ensure your earning power will keep up with the cost of living. Education is often linked to higher real wages. People with more education and specialized skills tend to earn more, even after adjusting for inflation. Investing in education can pay off in the form of higher real wages and better job opportunities over the long run. Technology can have both positive and negative effects on real wages. Automation and digital tools can boost productivity and create new high-paying jobs, but they can also replace some types of work, putting downward pressure on wages in certain sectors. Staying up to date with technological trends can help you adapt and maintain strong real wage growth. The gender pay gap is often discussed in terms of nominal wages, but real wages matter too. If women's real wages grow more slowly than men's, the gap in purchasing power widens. Addressing the gender pay gap requires looking at both nominal and real wage trends to ensure fairness and equality. Young workers often start with lower nominal wages, but real wage growth is important for their long-term prospects. Early career wage growth, adjusted for inflation, sets the stage for future financial stability. Supporting real wage growth for young people helps build a stronger workforce and economy. Labor unions often negotiate for higher wages and better working conditions. By focusing on real wages, unions aim to ensure that pay increases keep up with inflation, protecting workers' purchasing power. This focus helps members maintain their standard of living even as prices rise. Small businesses must balance paying competitive wages with managing costs. Real wages are important for attracting and retaining employees, but rising wages can also squeeze profit margins. Understanding real wage trends helps small business owners make smart decisions about pay and pricing. Economic policies such as interest rates and government spending can influence real wages. For example, policies that control inflation help protect real wages, while those that stimulate growth can boost employment and pay. Policymakers must consider the impact of their decisions on real wages to support a healthy economy. Globalization has changed the way real wages evolve around the world. Increased trade and competition can put pressure on wages in some industries while opening up new opportunities in others. Understanding how global trends affect real wages helps workers and businesses adapt to a changing economy. Automation is reshaping the job market and influencing real wages. While some jobs are replaced by machines, others become more valuable, leading to higher real wages for those with the right skills. Staying adaptable and learning new skills is key to maintaining strong real wage growth in an automated world. Remote work has become more common, and it can affect real wages in different ways. For some, remote work reduces commuting and living costs, effectively increasing real wages. For others, it may mean lower pay if employers adjust salaries based on location. Understanding these dynamics helps workers make informed choices about where and how they work. Rising healthcare costs can eat into real wages, even if nominal pay increases. If a larger share of your income goes to medical expenses, your purchasing power declines. Keeping track of healthcare inflation is important for understanding your true financial situation. Housing is often the biggest expense for many people. When housing costs rise faster than wages, real wages effectively fall, making it harder to afford rent or buy a home. Monitoring housing inflation is key to understanding changes in your real wage and overall financial health. Food prices can fluctuate due to supply and demand, weather, and global events. When food costs rise faster than wages, real wages decline, especially for lower-income families who spend a larger share of their income on groceries. Keeping an eye on food inflation helps you manage your budget and understand your true earning power. Transportation costs, such as fuel and public transit, also affect real wages. If these costs rise faster than your income, your real wage falls, leaving less for other expenses. Understanding how transportation inflation impacts your finances can help you make smarter choices about commuting and travel. Debt payments, such as loans and credit cards, can reduce your effective real wage. If your income doesn't keep up with inflation and debt payments, your financial situation can become strained. Managing debt and monitoring real wage trends are key to maintaining financial stability. Saving money is easier when real wages are rising. If your income keeps up with or outpaces inflation, you can set aside more for emergencies, retirement, or big purchases. If real wages fall, saving becomes more difficult and you may need to adjust your financial goals. Investing can help you grow your wealth, but it's important to consider real returns, how much your investments earn after accounting for inflation. Real wage growth can give you more money to invest, while falling real wages may limit your ability to build wealth over time. During economic recessions, real wages often stagnate or decline as businesses cut costs and unemployment rises. This can make it harder for people to maintain their standard of living. Understanding how recessions affect real wages can help you prepare for tough economic times. After a recession, real wages may start to rise again as the economy recovers and job opportunities increase. Monitoring real wage trends during recovery periods can help you spot new opportunities and plan for a brighter financial future. People's expectations about future inflation can influence wage negotiations and spending decisions. If workers expect higher inflation, they may push for bigger raises to protect their real wages. Businesses and policymakers also watch inflation expectations to guide their decisions. Summary: real wages are a crucial measure of your true earning power. They help you understand how much your income can buy after accounting for inflation and rising costs. By focusing on real wages, you can make smarter decisions about spending, saving, and planning for the future. Whether you're an employee, employer, or policymaker, understanding real wages is key to financial well-being. As you move forward, keep an eye on your real wage, not just your nominal salary. Track inflation, monitor your expenses, and make adjustments as needed to protect your purchasing power. By staying informed about real wage trends, you'll be better equipped to achieve your financial goals and maintain a comfortable standard of living, no matter what the economy brings.